Been making quiet noises about him this week. Richard, could you fancy him?
He would have a squeak, but he wouldn't be my idea of the winner. I think he's got a fair bit to do.
John Joe?
Well, he's a nice horse, definitely, and he would have a sporting chance, but I think he'd prefer a bit more cut in the ground. The ground is very lively today, and I think he'd be just a little bit better with more cut.
And behind him, the Stripes, the bottom weight, Farbridge. Richard, you won on him once.
Yes, I won on him the first time he won over fences at Nottingham, and I think this distance today will just find him out. He's a good horse over 2 miles, and in fact has beaten Little Bay in the past. And it's plenty quick enough after his Ascot win 10 days ago.
And he is, well, with his penalty, £6 out of the handicap.
Yes,
but you can't dismiss him. New life connection for both of you too. Let's hear news of betting before we join Richard Pittman.
Well, the money's coming in for New Life Connection. It opened at 9-2, remember. There's now 7-2. A Golden Friend 5-1. Half Free is 11-2. That's drifting out. Very promising 7-1 from 8. Cathy's Lad is 9-1. And on 10-1, Glen Rue and Broadheath. Farbridge and Little Bay are 11-1. Our Fun is 12s and Durham Edition 25-1.
Well, there is Half Free, who Richard Lindley rode to that victory last year and the year before. He's 11-2 shot now, and how marvellous to have the two boys there in the box with Julian. They're two of the sport's great ambassadors, but you know, these jumping jocks are made of real stern stuff. Great characters in their faces too. Half Free, Peter Scudamore, well, he excels around here over this distance. 11-2 shot at the moment. He's won 16 chases altogether, or races, and 6 of them have been around this track over this distance. So that tells the story in itself. He loves coming up this hill. He puts his old head down and he battles for the line. But it must be said, looking back at that race last year, that New Life Connection did peck on landing. We just missed him, actually, when it happened, but for 2 or 3 strides after the last, he was trying to regain his balance, and that just lost him that bit of momentum. And remember, it was only a short head out the end. But this horse has shown his well-being. November is Fred Winter's month of the year. He has a lot of good months, but November he really fires into action. So this one must go very close, despite being top of the handicap at 12-4. And this is what he'll be going for. If he wins it, his owner will take it home with him, having won it 3 consecutive years. And that, I must say, would be worth a lot of money now, because it's been going for a long time, the Mackeson, of one of the well-established chases. So his biggest danger is obviously New Life Connection, but there are a lot of them in here with a chance. One of the best Mackesons I think we've had for a while. Number 2, very promising. Well, this was a former P. Scudamore ride, now ridden by Richard Dunwoody, and he was 3rd on his debut this season in a very hot race indeed, and he didn't disgrace himself. I think that very promising's run behind Desert Orchid and the Argonaut was certainly enough to put him bang right for today's contest. Trained by David Nicholson, running for Paul Green, and he's a 7-1 shot. 2.5 mile start here in the middle of the course. They jump a couple and then swing round onto the main course itself. A lot of the jockeys like this track. From the north, New Life Connection. Well, how close he went last year. And a little bit warm. Of the horses in the parade, he was the one who was first to sweat. It's not a bad thing. It shows he's on the bridle. He's got his mind on the job. He wasn't sweating profusely, but he knew he was here. Of course, he'd have had a fair old journey down. Has been impressive in the past, has won a lot of races, and there's no reason why he couldn't be the winner here today. Ridley Lamb in the saddle. He's 7-2 favourite, 5-1 by him. And thinking back to John Joe and, of course, to Richard Lindley, Ridley Lamb's had a lot of injuries from racing, and he looked like being warned out of the game for a while. He had a reoccurring niggling hip irritation. There was a bit of a bug in the bone itself, but he's right, and going out for the dubious pleasure of being kicked around again. But these jocks know that that is part of the job. Good rider, Ridley Lamb. The 2.5 mile start for the Mackeson, way there in the middle of the course itself. Nice ground this. It's not galloped on as much as the rest of them, but with this big wide course at Cheltenham, the ground is always pretty good. So here we see Golden Friend, who of course looked tremendously well in the paddock, has won his only 2 this year. Came over from Ireland with a big reputation, had a few hiccups en route to now really establishing himself. and would be a fine win for Mercy Rymel, because of course she and her late husband Fred won this race 4 times, and Fred Winter is bidding to join them on that number. There in the chevrons you see the colours of Peter Hopkins now on Our Fun. I see he's owning quite a few more horses now in the Gifford Yard, but it looks like the action's underway. All yours, Peter.
15 fences to be jumped in this 27th running of the Mackeson Gold Cup, in which they bet 7-2 New Life Connection, 5-1 Golden Friend, 6-1 Half Free, 7-1 Very Promising, 9-1 Bar, and this looks like it, and they're off, and Cathy's Lad is the first to show as they race towards the first of the 15 fences, quite tightly bunched. Cathy's Lad, Glen Rue right up there, Our Fun also, and Very Promising and Golden Friend, they're all safely over the first. Cathy's Lad jumped right up there on the inside with Our Fun and Glen Rue and Our Fun now disputing it as they come to the second, and Our Fun lands in the lead from Glen Rue, all safely over that one. Then comes on the inside Far Bridge going up to dispute it. Behind them Very Promising. As they jump this, Far Bridge lands in the lead from Glen Rue and Our Fun, Very Promising and Durham Edition and Cathy's Lad on the inside, then Golden Friend and Half Free, then comes Broad Heath, New Life Connection, and finally Little Bay. So Far Bridge setting out as he did at Ascot to try and make all the running. 1 pound overweight for Simon Sherwood. And he's well clear at the moment, Far Bridge, for the informed stable of Toby Boarding. Our Fun is second and Glen Rue third. Very Promising is 4. 5 and 6 are Cathy's Lad and Durham Edition. Behind them come Golden Friend and Broadheath and New Life Connection, with on the inside Half Free and the back marker Little Bay. Coming down to the 5th now, Far Bridge. Clear of Glen Rue, showing there with his white face. Our Fun on the far side, Very Promising next, and then Durham Edition and New Life Connection and Golden Friend Half Free. Behind them, Little Bay and Broadheath. Far Bridge from Glen Rue, Very Promising and Our Fun, Golden Friend, Durham Edition, New Life Connection, Cathy's Lad, Half Free, Broadheath and Little Bay. Coming to the fence, that'll be the last on the next circuit. Number 6 this time of the 15. Far Bridge lands in the lead from Glen Rue. Then Very Promising and Our Fun, and behind them Golden Friend, Durham Edition on the inside, Cathy's Lad, then New Life Connection and Half Free, then Little Bay and Broadheath. Still Far Bridge from Glen Rue on his outside. Very Promising jumps it in third. Our Fun 4, 5 on the outside. New Life Connection 6 and 7 are Cathy's Lad and Golden Friend, and behind them Half Free, Durham Edition, Little Bay and Broadheath. Coming down to the 8th. Far Bridge from Glen Rue, Very Promising, Our Fun, Cathy's Lad, New Life Connection, Golden Friend, Half Free, little mistake there by Little Bay. Then Durham Edition and Broadheath, the back marker, coming down to the water now. Far Bridge, Very Promising, Glen Rue and Our Fun on the inside. Behind them, Cathy's Lad. Then comes Golden Friend, New Life Connection making good ground on the outside. The first of the 2 ditches now. Our Fun, Far Bridge, and fallers there. Broadheath has been brought down. There are 3 fallers. Let's go back to the leaders with Our Fun in the lead from Far Bridge, Very Promising. Cathy's Lad is next. Then comes Half Free. New Life Connection was a faller at that one. Then comes just in behind Half Free, Golden Friend. Behind Golden Friend is Little Bay making good progress. Durham Edition is tailed off behind him now. They're coming to the final ditch. Our Fun lands in the lead from Very Promising. Cathy's Lad, Far Bridge, then Half Free, then Golden Friend, then Little Bay cruising in behind them now as they race down from the top of the hill with 3 left to jump. It's Our Fun on the inside of Very Promising. Cathy's Lad is third. Far Bridge is 4. 5 is Half Free. 6 and 7 are Golden Friend and Little Bay. Little Bay still making quite significant progress from the rear. But it's Very Promising and Our Fun disputing it as they come down to the third last. Half Free is trying to get in the picture now. Far Bridge over on the far side. Cathy's Lad's just in behind the leaders. Then come Golden Friend and Little Bay. As they jump that on the inside, Our Fun on the far side. Very Promising going very strongly at the moment. Durham Edition has been pulled up. Half Free's moved into third. Cathy's Lad is 4. Little Bay is 5. Golden Friend is 6. Very promising, landed in the lead there. Very promising from Our Fun. Half Free is still making progress in behind the leader. Cathy's Lad is 4. And Little Bay is delivering his challenge now as they race towards the final fence in the 27th running of the Mackeson Gold Cup. And Very Promising is in the lead from Half Free, trying to establish chasing history. Over on the far side, Very Promising. On the near side, Half Free. It's Very Promising by a length from Half Free. The faller there was Our Fun. Racing into the closing stages. Half Free on the near side, beginning to get up. Very Promising on the far side. Very Promising fighting back, and he's going to win it as they come to the line. Very Promising has won it. Half Free is second. Cathy's Lad is just going to be third, ahead of Little Bay 4, 5 Golden Friend. And sixth and last was Farbridge, and so the result is first, number 2, Very Promising, owned by Mr. Paul Green, trained by David Nicholson, written by Richard Dunwoody. Second was number 1, Half Free, owned by Sheikh Ali Abu Kamsin, trained by Fred Winter, written by Peter Scudamore. And third, number 3, Cathy's Lad, owned by Mr. J. Clayton, trained by Alan Jarvis, and written by Steve Smith-Eccles. Fourth was number 6, Little Bay. So that new partnership between David Nicholson and Richard Dunwoody is christened in magnificent style in this 27th Mackeson Gold Cup. Very Promising the winner, Half Free, a gallant runner-up in his bid to win 3 in a row.